can live with that at 30 yards. That's dead deer all day long. I've been shooting the crossbow some. Need to get put the final touches on it. I've decided this year, at least early in the season, to use my little Hickory Creek Mini. This thing's going to be perfect for climbing trees and getting in the saddle. The Raven, which I'll show you in just a minute, is a little bit unwieldy up in the saddle, although it can be done. This one's just a little bit handier. Plus, it's a vertical type crossbow that you don't have to worry about the limbs. Since the limbs are vertical, you don't have to worry about them banging up against the side of a tree. In fact, you can use a tree to kind of stabilize the crossbow when you shoot it. I'm looking forward to using this thing up in the saddle. And one reason why I'm going to it first is it's been so dry that we haven't been able to plant green fields. We did get some showers last night, but I don't think it's enough for us to be able to plant our green fields yet. We're talking about southwest Alabama. It hasn't rained in a month. Bone dry, fields are ready to plant. It's just no soil moisture there. So if you put the seed down, you run a risk there might just be a little bit of moisture in the ground and swells the seed, and then they die. So it's better to wait until we get, a good half to an inch of rain before we go in and plant. So, opening day of bow season, October 15th in southwest Alabama. We don't have any green fields, which I typically hunt the edges of fields, particularly with that Raven, like I was talking about, because, the Raven will handle shots out to, I probably would shoot 50, 60 yards with it, whereas this crossbow, I'm not going to take a shot over 30 yards. So what I'm going to be looking at this weekend is finding some oak trees that are dropping acres. Hopefully I'll find some. Of course, I got 10,000 acres to look, but the type of vegetation or the ecosystem that we're in down there is mostly pine, managed pines, and there are some drains and so forth with some oak trees, and some pockets of oak trees and some clear cuts and that sort of thing can be a little bit challenging to find. So I'll be looking for that on Saturday morning. I'm probably going to scout in on Saturday morning, hunt seriously on Saturday afternoon. We'll see how it goes. But at any rate, we'll be using this tomorrow afternoon when I get over to the camp. I'll show you my saddle setup and all, and what I use for a climbing method. I don't use sticks. The Raven crossbow, which is pretty fancy. I guess I should say something else about this one. This is the stock scope that comes with the Hickory Creek Mini. It's okay, but I think I'm going to end up putting a red dot on this. Now, if you want an in-depth review of this crossbow, there's a guy named Nick, and he's got a YouTube channel called Nutterbuster, and he's got a couple reviews on there that are excellent, so I won't go into detail on this. Just find his, and if you're interested in this crossbow made by Jerry Goff down in South Mississippi, check out Nick's YouTube channel. The other crossbow, of course, is the Raven. It's an R26, and I put a Burris Oracle X scope on it, which is a range-finding scope, which is handy in that you don't have to have a rangefinder like I would for this Hickory Creek Mini. But again, like I said, in a tree saddle situation, the Mini is easier to handle. This one I'd use in a climbing stand on the edge of a green field when we get some green field going, or even shoot out of a shooting house with it. Very accurate, a little bit longer distance, higher speed, a little in excess of 400 feet per second, where I believe the Hickory Mini is more like 325. Maybe tops is 350, but probably more like 325. So 30-yard crossbow here, 50, 60-yard crossbow here. Some folks are, you know, they'll shoot out to 100 yards with these things. I don't feel comfortable doing that, but at any rate, these are the crossbows. I'm going to go out and shoot the Mini here a few times to make sure it's dialed in, and we'll show you that, shooting that. So hang on. Got a loop on it. You have to push that loop back a little bit before you start. Make sure it'll get over this trigger mechanism. There you go. Safety is on. Always put it in the whisker biscuit first. I'm shooting this year. I'm going to try some Montex. They're mechanical, and these are the practice points for it. Not Montex, but G5, and they're called Meat something or other. But they're up at my trailer at the camp, and I'll show them to you tomorrow. But I like that they got a practice point that comes with it. Actually, I bought 3 extra practice points. That's pretty nice. So let's see where we're at. I've got the target out at 20 yards. Let's take the safety off. Well, that looks dead eye to me. I think I'm gonna go ahead and set it back at 30 and see what I can do. All right, so we'll see what we can do at 30. Got to remember to bring it up to the correct hash mark. I believe it's the second one down. Anyway, 30 is about my extent of my what I want to do for range on this. Like I went a little bit to the right with it. Let's shoot it again and see what kind of group I get. I forgot to cut the camera on a minute ago when I was shooting 30. I got a real tight group, probably 2-inch group at 30, and but it was a little bit on the right side of the dot and maybe just a hair high. I'm going to shoot it 3 more times to make sure, and I may move the scope a little bit. I don't know. It's shooting pretty good right now. Yep, a little bit high and to the right. Anyway, I'll shoot a couple more times and then get back with y'all. All right, so let's go check out what I got 30 yards. All right, those first 2 I shot, and then I moved on the last shot, which is in the white dot. I moved the move the scope over to the left just a little bit. So as you can see, looks like I about got it. I'm gonna shoot it a few more times just to make sure. At any rate, it's looking good. Let's try again at 30 yards. Second hashtag. That one's a little bit to the right. Let me shoot a couple more times and I'll get back with you. Oh, I shot it 3 more times. I think I about got it where I want it. Yeah, I think that's probably good to go. A little over an inch group. I think I can live with that at 30 yards. That's dead deer all day long, so we will go with that. Take this target up to the camp with me. Shoot her a few more times at the camp. Or when I'm around the camp, don't have anything else to do. Anyway, looks like I'm ready to go climb a tree. Try to get one. When I get over to the camp tomorrow afternoon, I'll show y'all the rest of my gear that I'm going to use, and then after that we'll see you on Saturday morning. Wish me good luck. Hooty hoot.